Welcome to Deep Thought, the virus of fear. The virus of fear. Now, I know everybody is talking about the coronavirus and all the trouble it's caused, even though from my perspective, you still have more people dying of a standard flu. Way more people every year. I mean, yes, we're taking precautions, but that's still the dangerous thing. And, people... you've had doctors and everything saying, "Oh, this is bigger than the flu," but even with that, the number of deaths, population-wise, is still very tiny. Still very tiny. We ain't, this ain't the influenza flu of 1918, where there were 100 million people who died from that. No. But there's even a bigger virus. That's the virus of fear. Of fear. Yes, coronavirus is something. I mean, it's serious. I mean, in any precautions, and you want to wash your hands, all of that. And I'll get more into that health aspect in the next podcast. But it's the virus of fear. When people have fear of something, that's even more dangerous. It's more insidious because it's hard to combat. Now, I'm going to give y'all some ways to combat it in the next couple podcasts, but still, because when you have fear of something, you have anxiety. You have people having anxiety over just going out, going to a public event. They so worried and stuff, but anxiety, that does something to your body. That's stress. And then you can have an anxiety attack, which could lead to other things. It could lead to your blood pressure going up. It can lead to a heart attack. It could affect your muscles, everything. It can affect your body. And if you hold that vibration of fear for a long enough time, that could lead to your death just as well as getting a virus. It might be worse, You also get panic attacks. You worry. It's like, you ever see people? They just start shaking and, they're so worried. And then, fear itself could actually lower your IQ. You're not thinking as much. You're so stressed over something, you can't really think something through, And it's all that virus of fear. That's the main thing. Now, a lot of people blaming the media and everything. And it was just like, media is just reporting on stuff. That's all they doing. But it's not, but it's still your reaction to it. It's still your reaction to that, what's going on. Like some people, you can report all this bad stuff going on to one person, and they get that anxiety, they get that panic, they get that stress. Their blood pressure go up, their heart start beating in a weird way. Maybe they become fatigued, something like that. They worrying. It might affect how they eat. They might not eat as much. Their appetite go, and then they're not getting the proper nutrients in their body. All right, that's one person. But the other person is like, oh, this is happening. Well, I would watch a basketball game, but they suspended the season or canceled it. I'm not sure. Well, I'll watch college. Oh, yeah, they weird with that, too. Shit. Hey. Oh, well, I'm just going to go take a walk. They don't have that same virus and stuff. In fact, I'm going to tell you what. Well, I'll get into that in next. I was going to talk about the more health aspect of it. But that's the virus. That's the fear. And it spread. Like, a couple things. Now, I'm recording it. I record my stuff early. Now, I remember on my IG, I took a camera thing of the aisle where, I took a little short video of the aisle where the toilet tissue was. And I was taking it more for entertainment. I was like, man, look at this. This is crazy. Right? And, I wasn't too worried about it. I had enough toilet paper, and I talked to one of the clerks. She was just like, oh, well, I have some more tomorrow morning. So it's like, but I shared it on IG, and people were like, hey, be careful out there, Uncle Rom, stay safe. And I'm like, what? Yeah, like this is dangerous and stuff. I'm like, come on, I was laughing at it. I almost felt like doing another video saying, dude, it ain't that serious. I can always find toilet paper. Shit. Shoot, push come to shove. Shit, I get some baby wipes or something. Which are actually accurate. Actually pretty good, man. It gets up in there, y'all. Trust me. So anyway, right? I'm just like, wow. It's just like, nah, it ain't that deep. Oh, and another thing, supposedly, and I ain't going to pass this around, but people... I was getting all these like messages on social media and even personally about some government reaction to all of this. And I'm just like, I seriously doubt it. Like they're going to lock down everybody. And I was just like, really? Yeah, if they do that, like lock down people where they can't even go shopping. I was like, oh yeah, the recession will get worse then we go into depression if people can't spend money. And then you might even get a rebellion against that. But it's fear that make people pass that around. See, me, I never pass around stuff like that. I never pass around, like on social media. And you get some people who do stuff like that purposely just to upset people. But that's that fear thing, And it becomes a virus. It passes along. You listen to people. Because it's a more insidious virus than... anything we have out here. It's like, yeah, you can still stay clean, wash your hands, put on stuff. But then if you got someone like that who walking up to you or calling you or texting you or something with something that can create some fear in you, I'm like, that's more sick because it goes into your mind. It goes into your subconscious. Especially if you trust the person. You're like, oh, there's something. And I'm just like, nah. Because I look at the overall situation, what's coming. And the reason why, and I told somebody, I was talking with a young lady about this. I said, shoot, everybody got to fear this and that. But then, no, it was a couple people. And then a young lady, dude, a cool, good friend of mine. And I said, shoot, you can jump in your car and a truck run into you or something. You worry about this other stuff. Or you can go slip somewhere. And my point is not to be pessimistic, but you can't go through life with fear. Anything could happen, but anything can happen to the point where you can't really worry about it. You just have to go out there and just be careful normally. When I'm driving, I'm driving carefully. I ain't really speeding too much. And I'm very careful. I'm paying attention to everything. All you can do is just be careful. But you can't start off with fear. Now remember, I've talked before about people not staying in the moment. And I'm going to get further into this later on in my Thursday podcast. But just briefly, I talked about, I said people either they thinking about the past, which can cause depression, or they thinking about the future, which causes anxiety. Boom. Remember I mentioned anxiety earlier in this podcast. And so you so worried, that's causing stress, that's causing you to feel a certain way. That's just as problematic. But there's an answer to that, and that's staying in the moment. And I'll talk about that more in a couple of days. But that virus of fear, that's and it's hard to get rid of it because sometimes that virus of fear can even become a part of a subculture, a culture, overall culture, because people keep spreading it, keep talking. It's insidious, and that's part of how people will use propaganda to spread a message or to spread their particular idea. They jump into the fear. In fact, some people, they take advantage of it because even with this whole thing with the coronavirus, people who make hand sanitizers and anything to clean, shoot, they making out like bandits. They are making out like bandits. So anyway, that virus of fear, you got to combat it. And I'll be talking some more about that and a little bit more about the coronavirus in a bit in the next podcast. So anyway, think on this.